Mr. Mayo, I listened carefully to everything you said, and it was like a fingernail, scratching on a blackboard to continue to hear you talk about what was unconstitutional, what was illegal.
I understand. I don't want to minimize at all how powerful rhetoric is.
I don't trust the police to become. I was taught not to trust the damn police. Full well.
Because racial profiling is not allowed. Race alone cannot justify or stop.
You say that.
And we will continue to litigate that, and we are confident that we will be successful.
Not allowed. I
Twin cities, and I know it might be different outstate, where we're not even being informed of these activities. So we find out about them after the fact. But
Hey everybody, this is Dean FM, Dean Fraser Milford here for your preacher. What? Today I wanted to do another reaction video. This one is going to be to another one of our favorite Democratic representatives from Wisconsin, Miss Gwen Moore. Gwen Moore asks, Mendota Heights, Minnesota Police Chief, you able to protect citizens from ICE? So obviously there's a lot of chaos that's coming along with ICE. Clearly untrained, unhinged. Still just talking about impeachment at the midterms. Like, oh, can we move on? Obviously I don't support violence, guns to begin with. I want anybody to die. I don't think that violence is the answer. I don't think guns should be in this country. It's gonna be almost impossible to get rid of in our lifetime. There's shootings all over the place. For some reason they allow shotguns and the type of gun where you don't really have to aim. So you can like ricochet the bullet. You can't aim. What you have a
Thank you so much, Chair Jayapal. We're here on MLK Jr. weekend. So appropriately, people say, Gwen, my family, I had plans with them today, and they said, why are you in Minnesota? And that's, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm here. Mr. Mayo, I listened carefully to everything you said, and it was like a fingernail, scratching on a blackboard to continue to hear you talk about what was unconstitutional, what was illegal, blah, blah, blah. And I was so happy that my colleague from the Judiciary Committee asked you about the shadow docket, the Kavanaugh doctrine of reasonable suspicion. And so I'm wondering, can you tell us what is the threat of this probable cause being subsumed by a reasonable suspicion and that becoming the new standard of care?
Well, thank you for your question. I should say, these issues are being litigated currently, but I would say probable cause is a standard. Reasonable suspicion is not the standard. But what was his raison d'etre? I didn't read it. I'm not a lawyer. I feel nervous that the Supreme Court justice even came up with this, and I'm fearful. And so I understand. I don't want to minimize at all how powerful rhetoric is from federal officials, from the top of the administration, to incite and to demonize and to create an environment of hostility. But I also do not want to give a single justice's concurrence opinion in which no other justice joined in a case that has very early in litigation too much weight. Because racial profiling is not allowed. Race alone cannot justify or stop.
You say that.
And we will continue to litigate that, and we are confident that we will be successful.
Not allowed.
I was sitting next to Representative Jayapal before she left, and she shared with me an article that she put on display here. And I know one of them had said, one of us, all of you. And I noted that the criminal activity that's been unearthed here in Minnesota among Somali people is like 1/10 of 1% of the Somali community. And I'm wondering if that is is that a legal standard that we can expect to be adopted in other places, and also by law enforcement in places that are not in Minnesota.
Which legal standard did you ask for?
Well, it's one of us. What does that remind you of? One of us, all of you.
Oh, I think I understand your question. Some of the language and the kind of the message that we're hearing. There is explicit there's even more explicit racial animus coming. We don't, that we have heard coming directly from the president's mouth.
Right.
Let
me ask Chief. Let me ask Ms. Gonzalez, the 26,000 trained observers. I just need to give you my cell phone number. I'll do that. Chief McCarthy, you just said a moment ago that are you able to protect citizens from ICE, or do you have to stand down when they're making their arrests?
Thank you for that question, ma'am. We cannot interfere in a lawful arrest, and we have no authority or ability to force them to answer our questions. We are in a position in the Twin Cities, and I know it might be different outstate, where we're not even being informed of these activities. So we find out about them after the fact. But we have to treat any law enforcement agency as if it's acting lawfully and ethically, and that is the pinch that we are in right now.
Thank you. My time has expired. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen Moore. She ate that. And that, my name is reacting to Gwen Moore asks Minnesota Police Chief, are you able to protect citizens? Things are still popping off in ICE. I don't trust the police to become. I was taught not to trust the damn police full well through every black elder. Basically, do not do anything to get yourself in more trouble. Police are dangerous as f. Hope you have a nice day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.